السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. باب قال المؤلف رحمه الله باب من تبرك بشجرة أو حجر ونحوهما. Chapter heading of the one who takes blessings from a tree or a rock or something or the likes of it. قال المؤلف محمد بن عبد الوهاب رحمه الله وقال الله تعالى أفرأيتم اللات والعزى. عن أبي واقد الليثي قال خرجنا مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى حنين ونحن حدثاء عهد بكفر وللمشركين سدرة يعكفون عندها وينوطون بها أسلحتهم يقال لها ذات أنواط. فمررنا بسدرة فقلنا يا رسول الله اجعل لنا ذات أنواط كما لهم ذات أنواط. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الله أكبر إنها السنن قلتم والذي نفسي بيده كما قال بنو إسرائيل لموسى اجعل لنا إلها كما لهم آلهة قال إنكم قوم تجهلون إلى آخر الآية. لتركبن سنن من قبلكم رواه الترمذي وقال حديث حسن صحيح. فيه مسائل: الأولى تفسير آية النجم، الثانية معرفة صورة الأمر الذي طلبوا، الثالثة كونهم لم يفعلوا، الرابع أنهم قصدوا التقرب إلى الله بذلك لظنهم أنه يحبه، الخامسة أنهم إذا جهلوا هذا فغيرهم أولى بالجهل منهم، السادسة أن لهم من الحسنات والوعد بالمغفرة ما ليس لغيرهم، السابع أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لم يعذرهم بل رد عليهم بقوله الله أكبر إنها السنن لتتبعن سنن من كان قبلكم فغلظ الأمر بهذه الثلاث. الثامنة الأمر الكبير وهو المقصود أنه أخبر أن طلبتهم كطلبة بني إسرائيل. التاسع أن في هذا من معنى لا إله إلا الله مع دقته وخفائه على أولئك. العاشرة أنه حلف على الفتيا وهو لا يحلف إلا لمصلحة. الحادية عشر أن الشرك فيه أكبر وأصغر لأنهم لم يرتدوا بهذا. الثانية عشر قولهم ونحن حدثاء عهد بكفر فيه أن غيرهم لا يجهل ذلك. الثالثة عشر التكبير عند التعجب خلافا لمن كرهها. الرابعة عشر سد الذرائع. الخامسة عشر النهي عن التشبه بأهل الجاهلية. السادسة عشر الغضب عند التعليم. السابعة عشر القاعدة الكلية لقوله إنها السنن. الثامنة عشر أن هذا من كلام النبوة لكونه وقع كما أخبر. التاسعة عشر أنهم كلهم أن كل ما ذم الله به اليهود والنصارى في القرآن أنه لنا. العشرون أنه متقرر عندهم أن العبادات مبناها على الأمر فصار فيه التنبيه على مسائل القبر. أما من ربك فواضح وأما من نبيك فمن إخباره بأنباء الغيب وأما ما دينك فمن قولهم اجعل لنا ذات أنواط كما لهم ذات أنواط. الحادية والعشرون أن سنة أهل الكتاب مذمومة كسنة المشركين. الثانية والعشرون أن المنتقل من الباطل الذي اعتاده قلبه لا يؤمن أن يكون في قلبه بقية من تلك العادة لقولهم ونحن حدثاء عهد كفر ونحن حدثاء عهد كفر ونحن حدثاء عهد كفر. Okay, so inshallah we will now translate it to English. So this is the chapter under the heading of the one who takes blessings from trees or rocks or something like it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, have you seen Al-Lat wal-Uzza? Abi Waqid al-Laythi narrated that we went out with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam during Hunayn, and we were still new to Islam. So we were still close to kufr than Islam. So we were new to Islam. And for the mushrikeen, for the pagans, they used to have a tree in which they go and worship, take their time in seclusion and worship there in that tree. And they used to tie on it their swords. And the tree was called Datu Anwatin. So we went close through this tree, Datu Anwat, and we said, "Oh Messenger of Allah, make us a tree like this tree, like they have this tree." The Prophet Muhammad says, Allahu Akbar, Allah is the greatest. Indeed, it is the sunnah, it is the past traditions of people. What you have said by Allah, by what you have said in the one whose in the one whose hand my soul is in, you said as Banu Israel have said to Moses, make us a god as they have a god. And Moses says, indeed you are people who are ignorant, to the end of the verse. The Prophet Muhammad continues saying, indeed you will follow the traditions of those who were before you, such as Jews and Christians and the pagans. This is by Tirmidhi and Hadith Hasan Sahih. In this fiqh masail, there are things in us to keep in mind. The first one is the tafsir of this verse of Surah Al-Najm. The second one is knowing the Amr, the Surah Al-Amr الذي طلبوا, knowing what they have asked for. So the people, they asked for the Prophet to make them a tree like the Mushrikeen had the tree. The third one is that they did not do that. They did not make a tree like that, and they did not actually fall into their desires as the Mushrikeen has done. The fourth one is they intended through that making a tree like the mushriks have a tree is to get closer to Allah through this, because they thought that Allah loves this action, while Allah doesn't. The sixth one is they had because they were Sahaba, they had a lot of the hasanat, they have a lot of good deeds and promise of forgiveness from Allah, which others other than them don't have that. Other regular people don't have that. The seventh one is that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did not excuse them for this ignorance. Rather, he responded to them and says, Allah is the greatest. Indeed, it is the past traditions. And indeed, you will follow the traditions of those who were before you, such as the Jews and Christians and the pagans. And so the Prophet was by saying these three things, Allahu Akbar, and it is the traditions, and that you will follow the traditions of those who were before you, he made this very rough upon them. He said this, he make it very firm and strict upon them in these three matters. The eighth one is the great this great matter, this great punishment, this great matter that they asked for, that these people asked for. So the ninth one is the eighth one is the great thing that the great matter that they asked, the very dangerous thing that they asked, is that they asked the Prophet to make them a tree like they had a tree. Is like asking is like the children of Israel asking Moses to make them a god as they, the pagans, had a god. The ninth matter is that أن في هذا من معنى لا إله إلا الله, that this is the true meaning of لا إله إلا الله, that there is no one worthy of worship except Allah. This matter that they only asked to the Prophet to make them a tree like these people have a tree. They did not intend to worship that tree. They intended to put their swords on that tree like the mushriks did. And through this action, this is kufr action, and one who does it, it becomes a kafir. But they were excused regarding that since they did not know and they were still new to Islam. So this shows the importance of knowing La ilaha illallah. The tenth matter is that the Prophet swore through this. He said, وَالَّذِي نَفْسِ بِيَدِهِ, he swore onto something that he had no doubt in. So he says, by Allah. So when the Prophet said, here that إنها السنن قلتم والذي نفسي بيده كما قال بنو إسرائيل لموسى, you have said exactly what the children of Israel have said to Moses, make us a god as they have a god. So this is a true swearing to God without any doubt. So there is a true, you can swear to Allah if you have no doubt in that. The 11th matter is that shirk, there is minor and major shirk. The major shirk makes a person leave Islam. Minor person does not make a person leave Islam. So, and that through their asking the Prophet Muhammad since they were ignorant, they did not leave Islam, they did not apostate. The 12th matter is that they said, وَنَحْنُ حُدَثَاءُ عَهْدٍ بِكُفْرٍ, we were new to Islam, we were closer to kufr and we were new to Islam, we just became Muslim. It's a proof that other than them were not ignorant as them. So they were ignorant, but the others were not ignorant among the Sahaba through this matter. 13th matter is that the Prophet did takbir Allahu Akbar when he was amazed, which is different than the one who dislikes that. The fourth one is the Saddu Dhara'i. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ made it clear that he stopped corruption completely. He stopped any corruption from taking place through this action. So he stopped the corruptions from taking place. Al-Khamisata Ashar, the 15th matter is there is a nahi, there is a forbidding from having tashbih, from imitating the people of ignorance, the Jahiliyyah, such as Jews, Christians, or pagans. The 16th matter is that there is anger through teaching. It is permissible to be angry through teaching a person, while teaching a person. The 17th matter is that the summary of everything is innaha sunan, indeed it is the traditions of people. So you will follow the traditions of the Jews and Christians and those before you. um, الثامنة عشر 18 is that this is from the signs of the Prophet's prophethood, because he said that something will happen in the future. So when he said, for example, that you will follow لتركبن سنن من كان قبلكم, you will indeed follow, which is a future tense. This is a prophecy. You will indeed follow the traditions of those who were before you, such as the Jews and Christians and the pagans. Where were we? Okay, التاسعة عشر, the 19th is that all of these that whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala he, does like humiliates or dishonors the Jews and Christians in the Quran, it is also when they do an action, when they do a certain action and Allah condemns them for that, he also condemns us for that if we were to do it, if we were to imitate the Jews and Christians, us as Muslims. العشرون, the 20th is that what is known to them, that all the ibadat, all the worships are through this core matter. So through this there is a warning. It became clear to them a warning about who is your Lord when they said اجعل لنا آلهة كما لهم آلهة, right? Make us a God as they have a God. This starts to come through the noticing that brings back the understanding of what a person will be asked in his grave. Who is your Lord? Which is of course Allah. فواضح, which is clear. And who is your prophet? فمن إخباره بأنباء الغيب. Who is your prophet? Because the prophet here prophesied that you will follow the sunnahs, the traditions of those people before you, such as Jews and Christians. So this is the matter here through the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who is your prophet? And what is your religion? It applies, it connects with the one when they said, make us a tree as they have a tree. So this is the matter of religion connecting here, which are from the matters of the grave that a person will be asked upon. It brings back to a person's understanding and remembrance through this. It's a reminder. 21 is that the sunnah, the traditions of the people of the book, the Jews and the Christians, and is dishonored and humiliated and condemned like the sunnah, like the traditions of the pagans. The 22nd matter is that the one who leaves, who comes out of falsehood, which is his heart is sometimes used to, when a person becomes Muslim, sometimes his heart is used to some things during his jahiliyyah, during his disbelief, and he doesn't know that it's forbidden in Islam or not part of Islam. So sometimes whatever his heart is used to during the jahiliyyah, it is not trusted that when he becomes it is known that he will still, when he enters Islam, he will still have these types of attachments, types of these things in his heart that he had during his jahiliyyah, because since they said we were حدثاء عهد كفر, we were close to disbelief because we just embraced Islam. So we just left Islam, we just left disbelief immediately and we embraced Islam fast. So they were still new to Islam, which means that they were excused through that, through ignorance. And they still had something that their hearts was used to during the Jahiliyyah, so they didn't know that sometimes they can fall into it during Islam without paying attention, out of forgetfulness, out of ignorance as well.